In order to make the one of the bags, I've got one fat quarter here. I have got some ripstop fabric. Now you can, that's the stuff with the little squares, the waterproof fabric. You could use an old shower curtain, plastic shower curtain or anything. And I've got a bit of zip. I'm going to be cutting a bit of this zip, and I've got one zipper pull. That is, apart from thread and a zipper foot, that's kind of all you need. The size you want will very much depend on what you want to use the bag for. I'm going to make a bag the same size as I made this one. It won't be exactly the same because all I do is use this length of this fat quarter here, and they can vary. So I'm going to be making this size, but if you wanted a smaller one, you just do the same process, just make it a little bit smaller. So this fat quarter is measuring at 18 inches down. That is 46 centimetres. So that's going to be what I'm going to use. And the other bag worked out about 12.5 inches wide. That made quite a nice size, and I had enough left over here to do the strap, carry strap. Obviously, once you lose the seam allowance, which I've done at 1/4 of an inch, which is just under 10 centimetres, then, you know, that will make probably about 12 inches. But this is all very much up to you. I'll just show you the process. I've cut the fat quarter to the size I wanted, just chopping it down lengthwise. And I'm using this I'm going to pin this on, and I'm going to cut the ripstop to the same size. That's an easy way of making sure that they're both the same. So now we've got the piece of fabric and the ripstop fabric. We've got a piece of our fat quarter left, so I'm going to cut this so I've got the strap, the carry strap. Now that's entirely optional, but it is nice to have some kind of handle. So I'm going to just draw a line, and I'm going to do this 2.5 inches. I will put the centimetres down below. I'm just going to draw that, and then I shall cut that out. So we have a nice long strip here, so we can decide how much we want, how long we want it to be, but we will be folding that in half and then into the middle. I'll do this a bit better later on, and then that is going to be the width of one of your straps. But as you can see, it's going to be a nice long carry strap, or you can just cut that to wherever you want it to be. But we'll leave that for now. So you need to get your zipper and cut a length, obviously the width that you have there. I always cut over to give myself some kind of wiggle room, especially to put the zipper pull on. So don't worry, these scissors are for zippers and paper only. They're not my best scissors. So there we go. We have got that. We can get rid of the rest, and then we separate the zipper. So you've got your two bits separate. You can do the next stage one of two ways, and I do it the quickest way. But you want to put right sides together of the zip. So you can see the teeth are furthest away from me, and I will put them on the edge of the fabric. So you've got right side to right side of the zipper. Now you can sew along there to secure it, and then put the ripstop on top and do the same, or you can do as I do, and I'm going to sew all three pieces together. So to do that, to sew all three pieces together, I will clip the zip onto the fabric first off. So I'm lining the edge like that, and I'm going to clip it all the way along. So clipped it all the way along. Then I'm going to take my ripstop fabric and line it up the same, lift the clip and clip it back down again. So you will see I've got a sandwich, a zip sandwich. You've got the right side of the fabric, right side the zip, and then you've got the ripstop, and we don't worry about what is right and wrong on the ripstop. So I will do the same. I'll just lift that and anchor that back down again and work my way along. One finished sandwich, and now I'm going to stitch using my zipper foot about 1/4 of an inch in all the way down. So as you can see, I've sewn all the way down, and I'm going to do exactly the same on the other end. We now have both ends done, so already we can flip this to the right sides out. Basically at the moment you've just got kind of a tube, and I'm going to top stitch. I'm going to press this first, and then I'm going to top stitch a line down here. I normally do it on about 3mm, but it's entirely up to you. Both sides, press and then top stitch. So it's all top stitch. When make sure you're pulling it taut as you top stitch, so you're not creating any folds or gaps in the lining underneath. But both sides are now top stitched. So I'm going to put the zipper pull on. I will admit I'm not the quickest person to put a zipper pull on, but I have been told how to do it before now. As long as you make sure both ends of the zip are exactly level, I'm going to see that slightly higher. I'm going to trim that down and then pop the zipper on. Now I'm not going to do it on camera because I'll just be here probably for a long time, but the idea is you put one side of the zipper in lightly. There are many videos on this, and you will get the other side and you just poke it in slightly so they're both kind of even. Then you press down on the top and wait for a snap, and when you've got that kind of pop or snap, you know it's right and you should be able to pull it down. But I'm just going to trim off the ends so I've got nice clean ends and then do that. So I cheated, I didn't show you how long it took me, but it actually didn't take me long at all because I had it nice and level, the plastic bit nice and level. So we're just going to pull it down for halfway for now. But you can see it's already starting to take shape. So what we need to do now is do the handle. So we're going to fold our strip in half. This was our 2.5 inch strap, and then half into the middle and then fold over on itself. All folded and pressed. Now I'm going to top stitch either side about 1/8 of an inch, a couple of millimeters, about 3mm in each side, to make that nice and strong. So now we want to work out where we want the kind of fold and where the zip to sit on the front. I like to do it, it's about 1.5 inches. So I'm putting my ruler down onto where you've got the top of the line of the zip. So that's about 1.5 inches of fabric before you get to the zip. Now this is entirely up to you. You can put it wherever you want, but that's how I'll be demonstrating it. We need to mark this so we can get our carry strap and baste it in, because I like the carry strap to be right on that top corner. So if we mark this, and then we'll base this on. I've pressed to the bag, so I got my 1.5 inches there, and I have flipped it inside out. Now I like my carry strap to be on the side where the zip will close fully. So as you can see, I'm pinning it so I can keep the top where I want it to be. The carry strap can be as long or short as you want. I'm going to do mine quite long, but you will need to baste it, and you'll baste it right at the top. So I'm just going to clip that there for now, and then I'm going to baste it along there, probably about just right on the edge really, so it's secure for when we do the final seam. And obviously, so the raw ends are going to be poking out this side, and obviously we're going to tuck that right inside the bag. Now you could, if you wanted to do put a label on, you could do it either side at the same point. You just put them wherever you want, baste them on, so that's ready, but it's entirely up to you. So I'm now going to baste that carry strap on. All we have left to do now really is sew down the side seams. But what I do like to do on this open bit of zip here is just run a couple of hand stitches just to secure that end together. So when we do the side seam down here, they won't creep apart like that. So I'm just going to hand sew a couple of stitches across the end of that zip. There you go. You've got some double thread, very rough hand stitching there. Now all we need to do making sure that this stays level at the top down to the zip. We're going to sew down either side. I would suggest 1 centimetre, so 1/4 of an inch. Obviously make sure, as you can see, the ripstop fabric can move and shift, so you could pin it all the way around or clip it all the way around, but yeah, just sew down either sides. A couple of points to mention: when you go over the zip, be very careful, obviously go slow, and backstitch if you can, just to secure it. Make sure the zip is open, so halfway open, so you can flip it. And then what we need to do now is I'm going to trim all this, and I am going to use my overlocker, my serger, to go over these edges. You could do a zigzag stitch on your machine. It's just to secure it all and kind of neaten it all up, really. But I'm going to go ahead and use my serger. So as you can see, I've serged. Obviously I go really carefully over the zip bit. Now I just want to show you something, and now I don't know if you do it, but I didn't want to just chop off the ends of the serger threads. So I normally get a nice big tapestry needle, I thread the ends, and then I just kind of weave it up through the seam, pull it through, and then I will trim it off. I just think it makes us more secure ending. That's it, edge is all trimmed, and now we get the good bit, turning it the right way. So we just need to poke out the corners. I'll mind you, they don't need much poking actually. And poke out the 4 corners, and let's see what we've got. There we go. So the zip is ending at where the handle is, and there we have. The only downside to these bags is they fill with air sometimes, but yep, so we've got the carry strap, nice long carry strap, and we've got the zip. Open it up and you've got a waterproof lining. You could, if you were that worried, and you could bind those edges, but at the end of the day these are going to be used for rough things. So there we go. One lovely zip bag, which really didn't take any time at all.